avail themselves of the right under Article 31, Paragraph 3 of the statute to choose a judge ad hoc. South Africa has chosen Judge Dikgang Ernest Moseneke and Israel, Judge Aharon Barak. Article 20 of the statute provides that every member of the court shall, before taking up his duties, make a solemn declaration in open court that he will exercise his powers impartially and conscientiously. Pursuant to Article 31, Paragraph 6 of the statute, that same provision applies to judges ad hoc. Before inviting Judge Moseneke and Judge Barak to make their solemn declarations, I shall first, in accordance with custom, say a few words about their careers and qualifications. Judge Dikgang Ernest Moseneke, of South African nationality, has had a distinguished career as a judge, law practitioner, and academic. After obtaining degrees in English, political science, and law from the University of South Africa, he practiced as an attorney and an advocate with the Pretoria Bar. In 2001, he was appointed a judge on the High Court in Pretoria, and a year later, he became a judge on the Constitutional Court of South Africa, where he was Deputy Chief Justice for more than a decade and Acting Chief Justice in 2013 and 2014. Judge Moseneke is also an honorary professor in the Department of Jurisprudence at the University of Pretoria and has served as a Chancellor of the Pretoria Technikon and the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg. Judge Moseneke has received numerous honorary doctorates and awards. I shall now say a few words about the career and qualifications of Judge Barak. Judge Aharon Barak, of Israeli nationality, has had an eminent career as a judge and law professor. He holds a PhD in law from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and served as the Dean of the Faculty of Law of that university between 1974 and 1975. He was appointed to the Israeli Supreme Court in 1978 and served as its president from 1995 to 2006. Prior to joining the Supreme Court, Judge Barak served as the Attorney General of the State of Israel between 1975 and 1978. He has taught law in a number of law schools, including Yale University, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and the Reichman University in Herzliya, Israel. Judge Barak has also written extensively in law and has received numerous honorary degrees and awards. In accordance with the order of precedence fixed by Article 7, Paragraph 3 of the Rules of the Court, I shall first invite Judge Moseneke to make the solemn declaration prescribed by the statute, and I request all those present to rise. Judge Moseneke, you have the floor.
I solemnly declare that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as a judge honorably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously.
I thank Judge Moseneke, and I now invite Judge Barak to make the solemn declaration prescribed by the statute. Judge Barak, you have the floor.
I solemnly declare that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as judge honorably, faithfully, impartially, and consciously.
I thank you, Judge Barak. Please be seated. I take note of the solemn declarations made by Judge Ad hoc Moseneke and Judge Ad hoc Barak, and I declare them duly installed as judges ad hoc in the case concerning application of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in the Gaza Strip, South Africa versus Israel. I shall now recall the principal steps of the procedure in the present case. On 29 December 2023, the government of South Africa filed in the registry of the court an application instituting proceedings against the State of Israel, alleging violations by the latter of its obligations under the 1948 Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. I shall refer to this convention as the Genocide Convention. To found the jurisdiction of the court, South Africa invokes Article 36, Paragraph 1 of the Statute of Court and Article 9 of the Genocide Convention. South Africa states that its applications concerns acts threatened, adopted, condoned, taken, and being taken by the government and military of Israel against the Palestinian people, a distinct national, racial, and ethnical group, in the wake of the attacks in Israel on 7 October 2023. South Africa contends that the acts and omissions by Israel of which it complains are genocidal in character because, I quote, they are intended to bring about the destruction of a substantial part of the Palestinian national, racial, and ethnical group, that being the part of the Palestinian group in the Gaza Strip, end of quote. South Africa asserts that the relevant acts are attributed to Israel, which has failed to prevent genocide and is committing genocide, and which has also violated and continues to violate other fundamental obligations. The application contains a request for the indication of provisional measures. Pursuant to Article 41 of the Statute of Court and Articles 73, 74, and 75 of the Rules of Court. According to South Africa, I quote, provisional measures are necessary in this case to protect against further severe and irreparable harm to the rights of the Palestinian people under the Genocide Convention, which continue to be violated with impunity. South Africa requests that the court indicate provisional measures, any aggravation or extension of the dispute, pending the determination of the merits of the issues by the application, end of quote. The registrar will now read out the passage from the request specifying the provisional measures which the government of South Africa is asking the court to indicate. You have the floor, Mr. Registrar.
Thank you, Madam President. I quote, 1. The State of Israel shall immediately suspend its military operations in and against Gaza. 2. The State of Israel shall ensure that any military or irregular armed units which may be directed to its control, direction, or influence military operation. 3. The Republic of South Africa and the State of Israel shall each, in accordance with their obligations under the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, in relation to the Palestinian people as a group protected by the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, desist from the commission of any and all acts within the scope of Article 2 of the Convention, in particular, a killing members of the group. B. Causing serious bodily or mental harm to the members of the group. C. Deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. And D. Imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. 5. The State of Israel shall, pursuant to point 4c above, in relation to Palestinians, desist from and take all measures within its power, including the rescinding of relevant orders, of restrictions and/or of prohibitions to prevent A. The expulsion and forced displacement from their homes. B. The deprivation of B1, access to adequate food and water. B2, access to humanitarian assistance, including access to adequate fuel, shelter, clothes, hygiene, and sanitation. B3, medical supplies and assistance. And C, the destruction of Palestinian life in Gaza. 6. The State of Israel shall, in relations to Palestinians, ensure that its military, as well as any irregular armed units or individuals which may be directed, supported, or otherwise influenced by it, and any organizations and persons which may be subject to its control, direction, or influence, do not commit any act
Israel stands accused of genocide by South Africa, and today that case comes before the International Criminal Court. It's been compared to accusing a Holocaust survivor of starting World War II.
As the war enters a new phase, Israeli leaders are considering the future of Gaza, as well as what to do about Hezbollah.
There's nothing more atrocious and preposterous than this claim. Israel's President Isaac Herzog on Tuesday told
Today, Mr. Speaker, South Africa will present its case against the Israeli government at the International Court of Justice. And I ask unanimous consent to insert into the record the case.
without objection.
It is incredibly powerful to witness people who defeated apartheid in their own country hold the Israeli apartheid regime accountable for its crime of genocide in Gaza. Today I'm thinking of Nelson Mandela's powerful words, quote, "We know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians." In the past 3 months, Israeli forces have killed over 23,000. Scholar, graduate teaching
had been boarded by armed intruders near the Omani coast before its tracking device was turned off and it turned towards Iran. It's carrying more than 100,000 tons of crude oil. The vessel, named the St. Nicholas, was seized by the United States last year over sanctions imposed on Iran. In the US, former President Donald Trump's left court after the closing arguments of his fraud trial. Speaking as he left the court, he denied any wrongdoing. Trump's accused of exaggerating his wealth in financial statements given to banks and insurance companies, and he could be fined as much as $370 million. Security forces have been deployed in the streets of several cities in Ecuador after the government declared war on drug gangs. Many areas are nearly deserted as residents fear being attacked. Alessandro Rampietti has more from the capital.
A day after gang members looted stores and terrified people in Quito's historic center, these streets, usually brimming with locals and tourists, were desolate. Most stores were closed, as were schools and public offices. The area close to the presidential palace cordoned off with soldiers on patrol. Alex Lozada, who kept his stall closed, says he showed up to protect his belongings.
Yesterday was terrifying. People running desperately up and down, and around 3 in the afternoon we had to close. It's very dangerous. We are all afraid we'll be robbed or worse.
A sentiment of anguish and worry that others who ventured out shared.
We can't go to work in this situation. Children can't go to school. Our country is in pieces. We need the president to solve this because it's gone berserk.
The president, Daniel Noboa, who declared the state of emergency on Monday and ordered that criminal gangs be neutralized on Tuesday, met with diplomats and international organizations, saying the violence was a reaction to his plans of building new high-security prisons. He promised not to back down and announced he would begin to deport 1,500 foreign prisoners, mostly Colombians, to cut the number of inmates.
We're living in a state of war against terrorism. These aren't organized crime groups, they're terrorists, some of whom finance themselves with drug trafficking and some others with people smuggling in organs as well as weapons.
Most Ecuadorians are still trying to make sense of what has been an unprecedented day of simultaneous violence in many cities. Tension remains palpable. Streets are empty even at rush hour as Quito and Ecuador prepare for another night of curfew.
And the crisis is far from over. 139 prison guards and employees are still being held hostage by inmates in 5 jails. And there were still incidents and clashes in various parts of the country as the armed forces operation continues. This wave of violence was triggered by the disappearance of a convicted criminal the government hoped to transfer, but it's only the latest in a country increasingly in the grips of ever more violent and defiant gangs. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Quito.
Voters in Taiwan are going to the polls this
wet weather coming across Cyprus into that western side of Syria.